Blessings today, all the saints out there. I'm gonna come back with another video. I had a few brothers really have been inquiring about, just updates here on the land, and so I figured to come on and share with you guys. Haven't even really showed everyone really our solar system, so I want to kind of show you guys that. This is a 15 kilowatt system right here, so it's about 36 panels that you see right there. It's a ground mount system is what we got. And we did this earlier in the year. We did this earlier in the year. So this project pretty much took up, it took up a lot of time that otherwise I would have dedicated to those buildings down there, roofing them up, doing insulation, doing drywall, things of that nature. But we didn't get to it, but we're doing it now. So I'm gonna take you guys over there and show y'all where we're at as well. So let me finish showing you guys pretty much the solar setup. All right, you see we just put the rock down low. We laid a weed barrier down, and this is just mainly more so for the look. This panel array is pointed due south, and I think we put 10 degrees on it, so it's pretty much facing, if anybody's familiar with degrees or whatnot, if south was, I don't know, if south was 0, just kind of go move it 10 degrees negative, if you will. We just turned it that way. That's what we did. So anyway, so been cutting our grass, trying to get the backside of the land nice and manicured, so that way we're gonna start trying to really build some infrastructure on the other side of the creek. If y'all says the same, come next year. So that way we can get across the creek and start doing some things, whether that be animals or whatever the case may be. So, all right, let me show y'all what's up with the solar real quick. So, underneath is all the wiring. Panels are wired in series. I think we have 9 panels wired in series, and then what's 4 sets of them, and those 4 sets are parallel together. If you do the math, you come out to about 15.8, I believe it is. So, and then here's the box where everything is wired to. All the wires, the red and black ones that you see, they're all tied together, and they found their way right here to this this box right here, this junction. And then of course we are going down into the ground. This is what we call the solar house. I don't think anybody's ever even seen this. I haven't even shared it, really. Only the brothers that came to help somewhat put it together know about it. But pretty much, here I tried to trench out directly to the building, but I also have to be careful because that's our septic tank, and so our leash lines are out here, and the leash lines were supposed to be buried about 2 feet, and as we dug, we realized real quick that it's nowhere near 2 feet. So these leash lines are out here, and so I ended up having to go around. So this trench is trenched out around the septic tank. I had to be careful. I had to do some hand digging. Had to go around some lines. We actually clipped another line. Had to repair that. And so anyway, we see the conduit on the side of the building, and this is our solar house. Like, we call it the solar house. So initially we were just going to do like a small little building. I'm talking like a 4x10, 4x8, whatever the case may be, something very, very small. We were thinking about doing like an office, kind of like what El Rufus has in Georgia. And I figured to just, instead of just doing an office, Deacon, he just looked at me and said, why don't we just do a house? And I said, yeah, we can do that. So this is a dwelling. All right, we just call it the solar house. This is what we call it because we have the solar components inside. So, and we tried to keep the same color scheme on this side of the land. Of course, that's vinyl, but this is pretty much the same tin. This tin is slightly different than the one over there at the shed, but it is what it is. But that's the kind of the color scheme we just decided to go with. And on this side of the land, it's gonna be totally different from that side of the land concerning color scheme, but it'll be all right. It'll pretty much look like 2 different dwellings. Planted these trees in the fall, and so here's another angle on this end. We threw this up pretty quick. So we threw this up pretty fast this year, but this was, like I said, this is part of what kind of took away from some of the work that we had to do. All right, so we'll come on in here. All right, so everybody's been kind of asking me questions about pretty much the solar array, but here's pretty much our finished product so far. We can do more. We hung a light up in here, so we can finish insulating and throw more drywall up. We just haven't done it yet. So this is kind of what we're looking like right now. We got 3 batteries, Life Pro. You know, let me open this up. Life Pro batteries. So pretty much 5,000 watts a piece. And we have a sub panel in here. And these are called Solarcs. So that's what we're looking like. Here's our second one right here. And I called Solarc and they told me, now these, normally in a solar system, you would have, how can I put it? You would have like an inverter and a controller. Sometimes they'd be separate, right? So, but this is all in one. So this is all in one. And now kind of excuse the mess that you see down here. It didn't have to look this way, but upon further research, we could have had just one whole trough down here is what we could have had. And we could have had all our wires right into that trough. So, you know, it is what it is. We learn from the things we suffer. So pretty much both of these units are running independently of each other. They're being treated like 2 separate systems. So this one right here is where we have everything on. So I'm gonna open this up. As you can see, you got 4 items kind of moving. So all items here are in effect on this unit, to where on this unit, the only thing in effect is our solar and our grid. Okay, and so over here you'll kind of see I don't have generator connected, but we do have our critical load panel connected, and that's what the load is measuring. So this is not the whole load of the what's on the actual meter base. This is only what's connected to the actual unit. So when the power goes out, this breaker will kick in, and I can supply up to 60 amps of power off of this one. And I can do the same thing with this one independently. And here's the grid tied system. This is tied from the grid and also back feeds from here. These right here are the so the solar connections are connected from the PV wire, and those are our battery connections, and this is the battery breaker. And so that in a nutshell is kind of what it is. I just kind of want to do a quick overview of that real fast. Okay, on this one, it's a totally different. We're only grid tied because we're only using this to feed back the grid and produce the solar. So we were going to have them talking to each other by way of Ethernet and whatnot, but you know, we just figured not to do it. It's easier just to run them independently. So that's what we've done. So we don't have any critical load. We don't have a generator connected, but we are grid tied. So this one is solely for the purpose of selling back to the grid at this moment. So that's what we have going on here. Let me come this way. So from this little room here, we have it opens up this way. We're not completely done, but this is a dwelling, and this has pretty much 2 rooms in here. It's a small little dwelling. And we are kind of leaving this alone to focus on outside work right now. But when the days get cold and it's rainy and it's snowing, or whatever the case may be, we'll be coming in here and we'll be hanging drywall. We'll be mudding. We'll be doing flooring, and so on and so forth. So these are things that we're looking forward to doing. And yeah, so that's kind of how we're looking right now. So not everybody knows this is how I would show you guys the rooms. They look really nice. You can somewhat see the flooring. Where is it? Like, you can somewhat see the flooring here. All right, it's kind of like a brownish color or whatever. But yeah, so we're not, you can kind of see it here too. So we completely did these rooms. The flooring's done and everything. So yep, there's a solar array. So that's kind of how it's all somewhat connected. All right. Okay, the last time I did a video on this, I was going up to Indy. It was a 6-day, and we were pretty much finishing up hanging the trusses. And so now we're back. Well, I've been back, but pretty much what we've done is we've completed hanging of the trusses. We sheathed it. We put down some felt on top. We also put I think drip edge on there. And we also did some bubble foil. So because it's going to be a dwelling where people will stay, we saw fit to do it or try it out. We did it over on the solar house, and to kind of push back some of that heat that will come on top of the tin. So it turned out pretty good. In my opinion, got a nice screw pattern going. And right now the brothers are in there and they're working on the rough ends of these windows is what they're doing. You can kind of see the black or the green. I don't know what they painted them, but they're working on these windows is what they're doing. They're doing all the rough ends. We have all the windows sitting in there. And pretty much, as you can see, it was raining, it was wet, it's somewhat muddy. So we're not really doing a lot of the outside work right now. So we're kind of doing somewhat of outside work, semi-inside work. And but what has to happen is we need to come, once it dries up, I'm gonna go ahead and get some Portland cement, and we're gonna do some stucco on the outside of this building prior to backfilling all this dirt that's right here and taking a lot more of that and dumping it in here as well. There's a black top like over there. That's really what the grade is right here, but it's so high right now. So pretty much we're gonna be backfilling probably up to that block right there. So that's 3 courses, 4 or 5, probably that 5th course is probably the most I may end up backfilling up to. So we'll see. But this is pretty much where we're at. And this is pretty much an update video. I'll show you guys the inside, then I go around the back side. So this is what it looks like inside. And so we're gonna end up splitting these sides. Right now, it's just wide open, but we're just gonna frame up on the inside as it sits right now. That's what we're gonna end up doing. That's all wooden because that's gonna be where we're gonna put, you know, extra space, office, maybe restrooms, whatever the case may be. And I'll take you around there. So this is what it looks like out on the back side. And so we still have another pad to pour right here. So it's gonna be pretty wide. I can't remember the exact measurement, but we're gonna push out to like right in here somewhere to the same spot on this side, on that end of the window. So to the left of this window, to the right of that window is what we're looking at. And it's gonna probably come out, I don't know, I think I measured out 18 feet or so. I can't remember. And we're gonna dig it up, prepare the ground, set forms, and pour another pad. But we gotta do plumbing first before we do that. So, and that's where we're at. This is the update. Busy with the rough ends. Seems like they got that one done. They're doing this one. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that.